So really briefly, I want to talk about the listing limitations on Facebook Marketplace, how much you can list a day, and how much I obviously recommend listing per day, okay? So to get out of the way, the listing limitations on Facebook Marketplace is 150 per day. So you can list up to 150 listings a day, okay? Now, currently, I personally go as close to 150 as possible. So sometimes I'll list like 130. Well, I don't really list anymore, but I'll have my VAs list about 130 or 140 or something close to that. I always like to leave it at like 130 or 140 just in case I get specific messages asking me if I have things, because in those aspects, I like to kind of go find that product and then list it and then literally message them back the listing, right? So I like to leave a few listings open for me to list specific products I'm being asked about if I don't already have them listed. That's a game changer of a method to, get more sales that you're clearly leaving on the table, because if people are asking you and messaging you about something, well, go find that something, list it, and then send them the listing. It's a game changer. It's a no-brainer, and it will result in a lot of sales for you, okay? Because they're literally telling you what their demand is and what they're looking for. All right, but I recommend listing as close to, assuming you're not brand new at this, as close to 150 as possible. There's many reasons for this, okay? Yes, ideally, you'd go out and you'd list only high in-demand products that sell over and over and over again. But the thing here is even somebody that's going out and doing all the product research that I go over in the course, even somebody that has a proven track record of this, with a lot of sales, for like me, for example, I still use as many potential listings as I can possible, because there's the best way. Like, you can speculate, you can use all the other, kind of insights and all the other strategies to find high in demand products. But the best way to figure out what's actually selling and what's going to work for you is to test different things. And not only that, to take those products to the market and see what happens, right? And so you can test so many different things and figure out what's working for you a lot better if you're listing that many, okay? So you don't have to list 130. You don't have to list 140. You should not be listing 150. Don't get close to the limit because you don't want to actually hit it. But let's say hypothetically 130 or 140, right? You don't necessarily have to do that. If you're starting out, build some momentum, figure out what you're comfortable listing a day, right? So if you want to list 10 a day and you just want to do that consistently, that's fine. Set a consistent goal and then slowly build onto that, right? It's almost like progressive overload in the gym. Same thing here, same method, right? But ideally, you would list as close to 150 items as possible every single day, okay? Now, one little caveat there that I would touch on is if you're brand new, start slow, right? So if you've never listed anything and this is you're watching this course as a complete newbie, complete beginner, never listed anything, then start with like 5 to 10 listings a day. Go through the course and figure out different ways that I cover. I've talked about, product research and sniping and looking at other things. There's also an entire section after this on like how to go out and find in-demand products that will really, really help you. Like, those methods are the methods I literally use and have been great methods to find high selling products that like sell over and over and over again for high margins, right? I use the methods in this course. I'm not doing anything secret I'm not telling you about. So use those methods. But that said, you want to do more product research in the beginning and list less. So your first week, maybe list like 5 to 10 products a day. And then obviously you can start scaling after that to maybe like 20 or 30 products a day. You don't want to start too fast, because if you're just coming out of the gate as a brand new seller and you're listing like 130 items a day, it's probably going to set off some red flags, and you might get hit with like the listing limitation. Like, hey, as a new seller, you're not able to list this much yet. So start slow. If you're brand new, 5 to 10 listings a day, then maybe the second week, maybe 20 to 30 listings a day, and then maybe 50 listings a day the next week, and then you can start slowly scaling from there, right? But if, because I get this question all the time, like, how do I get more views? How do I get more sales? The key, there's 2 main ways to do that, right? The first is to list better products, which we've covered and will cover more in depth at a later section of this course, obviously. And then the second one is to list more, right? So many people that ask this question do not list even close to 130 or 140. They don't even list close to 100. Most of them don't even list 50 a day, okay? And so they're asking, all these questions about how they can get more sales and make more money on Facebook with dropshipping, but they're not willing to actually list, up to the limit, right? Facebook literally gives you 150 per day for you to list, okay? And for all the other people out there speculating that like, oh, Facebook doesn't actually want you to list 150 a day, there's two key points that I want to make. First of all, if they didn't want you to list that, why would they set the listing limitation there? It doesn't make any sense. It's just fear-based that other people are saying those things, right? And on top of that, I've literally tested this over and over and over again, okay? On shops, there's no limit. You can list as many as you want, but we haven't gotten to shops yet in this course, okay? That comes at a later date. And also, I don't recommend that you start there. With Facebook Marketplace, I've literally been listing about 130 or 140 a day for the past 3 months potentially, and is probably the number one key to why I'm doing so well and why I'm able to make over 10K profit every single month doing it, right? And that's literally the secret, right? It's better listings and it's list more, all right? So that's kind of my 2 cents on your listing limitations on Facebook Marketplace, how much that I recommend you list every single day. Again, start slow, like I said, if you're a newbie, but if you're not a newbie and you've been doing this for a while, use as many as possible. There's no reason that you should not be listing 50, 100, or ideally 130 or 140 a day. And then, it gives yourself more chances, right? It gives yourself more metaphorical, like, what's the metaphor I'm kind of looking for? Like more metaphorical, fish hooks in the water, I guess, right? So that's my 2 cents on it. Hope it helps.